Coming up on Kochie's Business Builders, growth guru Linda Haley helps Ambony Organics win more customers. We get the recipe for success for booming Gelato business Messina and learn Wallaby legend George Gregan's greatest business lessons.
Welcome aboard KBB Series 8. Boy, it's great to be back, and we hope you're ready for another huge series packed with some of the best entrepreneurs to grace our small business stage. And as always, a whole heap of easy-to-action tips as our experts head into businesses right across the country. Now, to kick off what's shaping up to be a terrific season, let's get into this week's News You Can Use.
A recent poll shows 2 in 3 small businesses still don't accept credit cards, and frustratingly, 1 in 10 operators have actually lost customers as a result. Why are we so hesitant to catch up with the cashless economy? A quarter of small businesses say the cost of processing payments is the main barrier to entry. But with the banks hungry for business and a range of smartphone payment plugins hitting the market, taking cards has never been cheaper. So if you're still demanding notes or goats for payment, sort your systems out and let people pay by plastic. The time savings and customer retention will be worth your while.
Ambony Organics is a fantastic natural skincare business set up by mumpreneur Nikki Auckland. But after expanding from the kitchen into a factory, sales fell in a heap and she slid back to square one. When Nikki called us, we sent in KBB coach Linda Haley with some sales tips to help her bounce back.
Nikki, tell me about Ambony Organics and how you got started.
It started when my eldest daughter was a baby. She had really bad skin. We were on a lot of cortisone creams for her, and we even ended up in hospital. I decided to do a bit of research into what else I can use apart from the cortisone creams on her, and there wasn't a lot available. So I decided I should make my own. That was fantastic. The product worked really well. And what I did need to do, though, is also do some complementary products like a baby lotion and a baby wash. She got sick in winter, we needed a chest rub. So that's how the whole range started.
Well, they say that necessity is the mother of invention. You obviously didn't start developing this product with an eye to commercialism. So how did you end up actually selling it?
My background is a sports therapist, so I did consulting. I did massage and nutrition consulting. A lot of my clients were young mums that were just having babies or just had babies. And I started selling it that way. They would buy little tubs of stuff off me.
How did you start selling it commercially, though?
At the same time, I launched a website so I could reach more people. And I began doing sales. So I would go out and take some samples and some information packs and call some customers up and visit them and explain our story and what we've got to offer.
And how successful were you at that?
Probably not as successful as I would have liked to have been. Selling's not my strong point, and I wondered how I can be a bit more confident in a sales role.
Selling doesn't always come naturally, and sometimes the best way of selling is not selling.
Okay. Let
me explain.
Yes.
As soon as I asked you about your product before, your eyes lit up, you became animated, you could have talked for days about your product. That is something that an ordinary salesperson never has, but the owner of a business always has. So in some ways, that enthusiasm and passion about your product does the selling for you. The other thing is you probably need to find a bit of language that you can use around your product. If you open up ads in the paper or you look online, a lot of people sell the features of a product. Like if you go in to buy a new fridge, they'll tell you it's a 517 cubic litres and it's got a number 4 energy rating and it's frost-free. So it's a pretty common way of selling. The bad news is nobody's interested in features. People who are buying are after what are called WIFMs, otherwise known as what's in it for me. So it's what the product does for you. So sometimes when we're nervous about selling, we reel off a big list of stuff, but it's not actually what people are interested in buying. A way of looking at this is if you list all the features of your product, so it might be easy to apply, comes out in a measured dose, maybe they're fragrance-free.
Okay.
So that's your homework. Sit down with a piece of paper and write down all the features associated with each of your products and then turn them into benefits.
Okay.
And you do that by putting the word "so you" on the end of a feature.
Right.
Once you've got features and benefits, you've started selling a story and selling the benefits.
Yes, okay. Understand, yep.
After the break, Linda gets stuck into some tips to turn this business's sales around.
Hi, I'm Justin Herold, founder of Attitude Incorporated. My business tip for you is in the area of sales. When selling, ensure that your personality is part of the equation. See, a lot of people don't take their personality to work anymore. They think that their expertise in product knowledge is all that they need. It's got nothing to do with price, it's got nothing to do with product. People will buy from you because they like you. If you're not a likeable person, they're not going to buy from you. I guarantee you that you will sell more things to more people if you include your personality, have fun with it, and actually be a nice person. So next time that you're out there and you're wanting to get the sale, try being nice, try being fun, and see what happens. Good luck.
And what about the selling into the retail outlets?
We've approached a few distributors to see if we can get on board with them. And we've had a couple of knockbacks. So, you know, oh, we're not looking for another baby brand. I've had that a few times. So I guess I haven't persevered that avenue anymore. I thought we would continue to be, you know, to wholesale ourselves.
When you're selling to retailers, for instance, you've got to understand that they're not necessarily interested in how good the product is. They're interested in what it's going to do for their business.
That's true, yes. Yes.
So from their point of view, the benefits might be that there's a good margin in it for them. It could be that you will sell in small lots so that they don't have to invest a lot of money. It could also be that you will give them exclusivity for their area. So they are the only ones carrying Ambany Organics. I want to talk about one other thing, and that's something called a unique selling proposition. Your unique selling proposition is the one thing that makes you and your products special, unique, or different. One thing that you can claim that nobody else can. Start researching all the organic products and look at what they're claiming as their USP. Sometimes it's a unique formula. It's something that you've done, you've mixed two products together that wouldn't normally be together. It might be that you have a product that's a balm, not a lotion. If you've got all your features and benefits and then you've got one thing that's the USP, that could be you, by the way. You could be the thing that makes it different and special. It could be your background in massage, it could be your aromatherapy training. They're the things that you can start to promote. So it would go on your website, it would go on your Facebook page. It's the thing that you push the most. It can take a while to find your USP, but once you do, it's actually a terrific marketing tool.
Really sharp advice. What we've learnt there for Nikki to take the business to the next level is, number one, establishing those what's in it for me features. Secondly, really focus on her unique selling proposition. And finally, find the right language that will resonate with your customers. Well, now it's time for a brand new segment on KBB TV, Lessons from Legends. And first up, we've got 60 seconds with Wallabies champion George Gregan.
Hi, I'm George Gregan, and here are some of my tips for hopefully being successful in business. Number one is you've got to build a really good team of people. You need to have people which I think become super team. They have skills which complement each other. Secondly, I think you've got to have a really good shared vision which everyone can see and understand, and there's goals along the way. Sometimes you meet them and you reassess. Sometimes you have to set new horizons. There's always a challenge. You never stand still. That's really critical. You've got to have fun along the way. You've got to enjoy the challenge. I think that's critical, because if you have that attitude, it's a real can-do attitude, you'll be successful, you'll reach your goals, and when you do reach them, take a bit of time out, celebrate them, and then set some new ones. And it should be a lot of fun, a really enjoyable ride, and hopefully you'll have ongoing success.
Coming up next, we drop in for Gelato with Messina founder Nick Palumbo.
Consistency. Gives them a nice haircut.
Friendly smile, good customer service, and prices are pretty good, so that helps as well.
You look after their customers, make them happy.
Deal with ones you've got.
Trying to have a presence locally, just getting out there, making yourself known.
And a friendly approach, and you'll get the same ones back.
Challenge?
There's so many, I don't know to name the biggest one.
Being in a city, it's always a massive challenge with competition.
We manufacture locally.
Opening dinner and just perfecting a menu.
Retaining business, basically, over the longer term.
Selling.
To make people look different. New looks, now and then. This, interacting, like talking to customers and,
I get to do yoga every day.
It's just meeting new people. You never know who you're going to run into.
Good question. I've been doing it for almost 12 years.
Selling something else.
That's a good question. I don't know.
Something with people, just like talking and making sure that... I don't know. It's a hard question. It's such a hard question.
I'm not sure, to be honest. I've been doing it for so long, but maybe something along the lines of nursing or paramedic or something like that.
Own my own restaurant.
But for now, this is my career.
This is what I'll be doing. If I wasn't doing it for myself, I would do it for someone else. But yeah, this is it. Brilliant.
Now, Nick Palumbo opened his first outrageously flavoured gelato shop in 2002. After selling out and then buying back the business when it was on its knees, he's gone on to establish an impressive operation. We caught up with Nick to get his recipe for small store success.
So Nick, you've turned a thriving local business into a globally renowned brand. How did you get started?
Originally from Adelaide, in the restaurant industry, and discovered gelato making, and fell in love with the process. I always wanted to create a new brand, and I kind of saw a gap in the market. I didn't think gelato was really represented well in Australia.
Now, you sold out about a year and a half, 2 years in, and then rebought the business. What did you do to turn it around? What did you do differently?
Focus. I decided that this is what I was going to do. And I thought, okay, well, you've got to do it right and think a little bit differently. I made a lot of mistakes. And yeah, the trick is try not to make the same mistakes twice.
Huge industry, $500 million, expected to grow to 600 million over the next 5 years. How do you stay ahead of the competition?
Innovation, innovation, and then more innovation. We were born from a standalone gelateria. We didn't know 5 years ago that we'd have 6 stores today, with one in China and one opening up in October in Vegas. We didn't know this 4 or 5 years ago. So we were just a bunch of guys making some really good gelato. That's what we were. Actually, give me an apple pie. You've got to try the apple pie.
Oh, that's great.
Try that.
You do get a huge amount of traction for your sort of really offbeat flavours. What does that innovation process look like?
We all really get involved, and it's, we go on trips overseas and we see a dessert with certain combinations that we've never seen before. We just translate that into a gelato. It comes from everywhere. A movie that comes out with a certain theme will come up with something. It's endless.
And what inspires you then?
This is what I do. So to me, it's kind of my life. It's what I love doing. I don't really know how to do much else, so I dedicate my entire working life to it.
Now, you recently expanded into China and eyeing a shop in Las Vegas as well. What are the considerations before you do expand overseas with a food product?
I think you need to have your foundation correct at home first. China's an extremely difficult market to get into. The only thing that might change is with the innovation, we may skew it to more Chinese-friendly flavours, but the philosophy is still the same.
Now, through your 6 stores in Australia, 1 in China now, you've pursued an owner-operated model. What's the motivation there?
We have this thing that if the word Messina appears on any building, we want to be the owners because we're manufacturers and we're retailers. What we do though is in certain areas geographically where they're a little bit difficult to get to, where we can't constantly be there and have a look at, we take on minority business partners. So they may own 10, 20 or 30%. And we basically just do a joint venture with them, and they live and breathe the store.
And what do the 2 businesses look like? So you've got the retail front and then the production side of things. Do they operate independently?
They operate independently, but the manufacturing is basically a slave to the retail. So, you know, as long as the manufacturing makes $1, we're happy. We push all the revenue and all the profit through the stores.
So Nick, what do you do by way of advertising?
Not a lot, basically social media. It's where we spend pretty much 90% of our time and energy.
So no paid advertising at all?
None at all.
That's a remarkable structure.
No print, no marketing, nothing. Because we recognised earlier on that you can fast track a lot of the word of mouth by using social media. You need to back it up with a product, you need to still do all the other things. But of course now you can get your message out a little bit quicker than what traditionally could before. What are we up to now with salted caramel? 5, 6 possibly? It's our #1 seller.
That's your most popular flavour?
Yeah.
And Nick, what are your top tips for small businesses wanting to emulate your success?
Focus and then more and more focus, because it's all about what you're making. It's all about the product, and always think of everything you do on how it reflects on your brand.
Nick, it's a terrific business story. Small business onto the big stage. I'm sure a lot of small businesses can take something out of this. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
Look, it's a classic case of vigorously testing a business model before expanding. That and a dedicated and structured approach to innovation. The result is a terrific business with queues right around the corner and, as Nick said, not $1 of advertising in sight. Really is amazing.
Next up, a tip from our resident tech whiz, Val Quinn. And then we get stuck into one of your business questions in Ask Kochie. This business tip brought to you by NAB.
So, David, you say you see Australian business. Say I'm a clothing shop and want to apply for a loan. What do you see?
So applying for a loan is a process where there'll be a rigorous assessment of your credit position. So there's a few things that we need to take into consideration, but the main thing is we actually want to help you get that loan.
So give me some tips on how to get approval for that application.
So we talk about the 3 C's as the main thing, so we can assess you properly for the product. So the first C is character. So who are you and what do you understand about the business you're in, and how well defined are your plans going forward? So it's really about you.
And the second C?
And the second C is cash flow. So we need to make sure you've got the right amount of cash flow to keep the business going, and making sure that A, you can pay the loan, and B, you can pay your wages.
And the third C, the final one?
And the final one is collateral. So we'd look at security, which we would need to hold against the loan. So that may be premises or other assets or even stock and shares. If you get those things right, we can help you get your loan right.
For more information, visit nab.com.au/smallbusiness.
So whether you're starting out or you already have a bricks and mortar operation, you know, there's no excuse not to have an e-commerce site. And you can do this with a number of different e-commerce platforms like BigCommerce. So basically you can go into one of these services and set up your store with just a few clicks. You enter your store's name, your information, add your products in and pricing, and off you go. It's quick and easy. And the best thing is that after you make a sale, you can even market to your customers through its EDM engine. You can basically create emails that will go directly to them and offer them to come back and buy more products. You can go mobile as well because it supports devices like tablets and smartphones, so your customers can buy from just about anywhere.
Time now for Ask Kochie, where we answer your business questions. Scott has contacted us via our website to ask, my partner Rebecca runs a bridal business. Her main employee is on leave, so Rebecca is working massive hours to keep up with the workload. Help! Now, this is something we see all the time, Scott. The first thing to do, delegate. Put the word out for casual or part-time staff through relevant networks, related businesses and the local wedding industry. For tasks that don't need to be done in person, look at getting freelancers in on a project basis to help with things like admin, marketing and social media. There are some great online platforms for sourcing freelancers, although referrals are always my preference. Now, then it's about setting clear roles and ensuring people can fulfil them. If the quality of work isn't up to scratch, then look to source the right skills through training or other people. If you're up for more HR and work-life balance tips, drop by our website at kbbtv.com.au and jump on our weekly newsletter. See you next week.
Coming up on next week's show, we look at creating a buzz around your business with Car Next Door. Blow the froth off of Four Pines' unique startup story and catch up with social media maestro Guy Kawasaki.